It's taken 20 years, but the government has finally announced its plan to make farmers pay for agricultural emissions. And it's broadly what the farmers called for. From 2025, farms will pay for both methane, that's cows' burps, and nitrous oxide from fertilisers. But there's a few key differences from what the sector wanted and what it got. The government will decide the price of emissions, not farmers. And the financial reward for planting shrubs and trees won't be built into the scheme, but sit outside it. And Federated Farmers says that means more farmland will be converted to forests, ripping the heart out of small town New Zealand. Here's political reporter Amelia Wade.
In a field getting friendly with the farmers.
I'm dressed appropriately.
Chatting climate change over a cuppa.
Lolly hack too.
Then taking to the hay bale podium to finally give farmers the details of the fart tax.
I know once finalised, this will put New Zealand on the best possible footing going forward.
Farmer Vern Brassel was ahead of the system.
Soil moisture, soil temperature.
Getting live updates from farm to phone.
I'm pleased that we've started. I think we need some certainty.
It's a system the sector has come up with, which is largely being backed by the Climate Commission and the government.
That system known as He Waka Eke Noa, which means we are in this together. At least they were until now.
Really, very disappointing.
The model predicts land use for sheep and beef farming could fall by up to 20%. Land for dairying could also fall by 6%, while forestry increases by about 5%, which farmers say will devastate small towns.
Really concerned with what the future is going to hold for a lot of these small rural towns. It's going to sort of rip the heart out of them and, it's going to replace farms with trees.
Like here, the heart of small town Featherston.
Doubt that will happen.
Why is that?
Because farmers are pretty resilient.
Trees where the cows used to be, they're forever changing someday. For Christ's sake, just leave us alone.
We're going to be devastated.
We know there are some issues to work through there. That's what this period is all about.
The Climate Change Minister himself isn't overly happy with where the scheme landed.
I'm always very wary about prices set politically.
But he's settled for the Climate Change Commission advising Cabinet. His preferred plan to cap emissions was too big.
The officials were very, very clear. They did not think it could be up and running in 2025. And also the sector itself strongly rejected that as a proposal.
This has not been done anywhere yet. And as with any first, it won't be perfect.
Not perfect. The Prime Minister just happy the fart tax is finally moving.
Well, kia ora, Amelia. There are a few more risks with this government proposal too.
Yeah, ministers were warned in this cabinet paper that their plan could disproportionately affect Māori because they make up almost 30% of the sheep and beef workforce. And their plan could also affect the quality of life of rural communities. What's more, by cutting our sheep meat production, that could impact global emissions by up to 30% because other less efficient countries will rush to fill that gap. But ministers are relying on New Zealand being the first country in the world to charge for emissions and setting a precedent which will make other countries fall in line behind, which is perhaps optimistic. But this is the thorny end of the 20-year journey to charge for emissions. No one is going to like it. Everyone is going to have to compromise, and now everyone has 6 weeks to tell the government what they think.
OK, Amelia Wade there, live from Parliament. Tēnā koe.